Hello, hello. This is my first time going live on YouTube, so it's either going to be amazing or a hot mess. So if you have ever thought, I know I'm good at what I do, but I have no idea how to actually get clients to pay me, this is the live stream for you. If you're overthinking your niche, your website, how to price, but you're still not getting paid, this is the live stream for you. And I know at this point you've probably purchased all the courses because I hear that all the time. Christine, I've already invested thousands in a skills course, but it has brought me no closer to getting clients. Trust me, I get it. I have been there. And we're going to talk through today why that is and how you can avoid doing it in the future and why there is a better alternative. So I am Christine. I help service providers and career pivoters, people who want to get into the creative service-based business scene, land their first high-paying client and rinse and repeat until they're making a full-time income. I have been self-employed since 2019. I've been selling digital products since 2020. So I've seen a lot go down. I've seen COVID. I have seen crazy layoffs in tech, crazy economy, turbulent election cycles. And now the latest thing seems to be AI is now switching up the game. So if you're a millennial like me, I'm 34. It's like, do we ever catch a break? It's like the minute we were born, the world just started going down, down, down. 2008 recession, 9/11, we had it all, baby, and it just keeps coming, right? So what I specialize in is this no fluff, just straight up framework. Do this, follow these steps, and say this to get the end results. I think in the online business space, there is a lot of fluffy mindset stuff and like manifest your business and do this, and people just stay stuck where they are. I don't teach like basic common sense, like, hey, here's how to register an LLC and, like all of these basics. Now you can really get that stuff. You could always get it on Google, but you can definitely get it on ChatGPT now, right? So what I do is help you get clear on who you are, what makes you unique, how that can translate into a business, and how to get paid for doing what you like to do. Angel said, hey, Christine, it's Leo, it's Lita. Hey, Lita, fellow Floridian. So good to see you, Lita. So again, no theory, no, mindset only, no fluffy sales pitch. I just want to walk you through how I have helped a lot of freelancers who I'm going to talk to you about today, their stories, how I got them from where they were, from overwhelmed to where they want to be, which is confidently pitching and signing those premium clients. So we're just going to dive right in. So I have been doing a lot of surveys. If you're following me, you see I'm asking you guys, like, what would help you? Where are you right now? And I surveyed probably over 200 people at this point, just in recent, months. 87% of you said that client acquisition, not writing, not web design, not skills, not branding, all the skills courses that you've taken, all that stuff, that's not the struggle. Client acquisition is the number one struggle. 80% said that. And over 70% of you said that you lacked confidence in pitching, right? So a lot of you felt like you had to build this perfect brand, have this perfectly buttoned up website, know your niche, all of that before you could get started, right? But I want you to know that clarity doesn't come from this overthinking and this learning and this, hamster wheel of analyzing and trying to fill your brain with information. It comes from getting into action, right? So I have had students like Elizabeth say to me, I stopped overthinking when I took your course and I just started sending messages. And that's where I want everybody to go or what's what I want everybody to do rather. And the reason I say that is because when you have conversations with people, that's when business happens. Business is just the exchange of value between two people. You give them a service that helps them and they give you money, and you have to get out and talk to people. It's just a value exchange. It's not as complicated as we make it seem, right? I had a student named Loretta, which I'll talk to you a little bit about her story and how she got into the freelance world and where she wound up going, how much she wound up making. But one of the things she said to me was, your cold pitch strategy is the only one that actually got people to respond. And I want to highlight that because there's a lot of people that are probably telling you to do cold outreach or to market yourself, and you're wondering why people aren't answering. And I can tell you, the TLDR on that is that you need to be sending a strategic message to a strategic person that aligns with who you want to do business with, who you are primed and positioned to do business with, who would benefit from your services, that have the budget and the means to pay you to do those services. But your message has to be dialed in. It needs to not sound like AI, right? I know we're all using AI to an extent. It needs to sound like it is coming from you. It needs to be tailored to the pain points and desires that they have in order for it to resonate, or else it's just going to get skipped over, ignored, all that stuff, right? So that's why everything I teach is built around taking this imperfect but strategic action. It doesn't mean you have the most polished website, that you chose a niche that you're going to now, pursue until you're 65, 70 years old. It's not about, oh, do you have like this published portfolio? I will teach you how to position yourself, what I call it is a minimum viable website, minimum viable web presence. It's like, here are the basics that clients are going to want to see so that you're reputable, so trust is built, but it doesn't have to mean overthinking and over tweaking. You want to get it down and you want to get started. You don't need a perfect brand. You don't need to be an expert to get your first high-paying client. You need a system, okay? A system, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Hi from Mexico. Hi. Lita said, I've had so many people message me and email me back saying, thanks for the personalized message, because they get so many soulless messages. Exactly, and I get that too. People will say, like, thank you for sending an actual personalized message, because again, we do get so much spam and so much obviously AI written content, which I lean heavily into AI, but it's not going to be the final message that you send, right? So let me tell you about the 30 Days to Paid methodology, the course that I teach. And it kind of serves as the backbone for everything I do, whether I'm on a one-to-one coaching call with a service provider or a freelancer. It's a system, right? So the number one thing is positioning, getting clear on what you offer and who you help. Most freelancers and service providers are struggling with this because they're multi-passionate and they're like, I don't know what I want to do, what I want to offer. I'm interested in a lot of different industries. And then there's other people who are mid-pivot. I would say I get a lot of career changers that come to me and say, hey, I want to start offering this service, Pinterest management, marketing consulting, maybe selling online courses, starting, a web design business, right? And they want to transition to that from their current career. And they just say, what I'm doing in my current career has nothing to do with what I want to do. Therefore, how do I do this? But what I specialize in doing is pulling out all of the experiences, the knowledge, the passions, the interest, the uniqueness of you, pulling that out and creating a cohesive story that actually resonates with the client, right? This is the most overlooked, underrated strategy, is telling your story in a way that helps potential clients see that you are the right service provider for them and that you have this valuable background and knowledge and interest and expertise that can be an asset to their business, right? But we tend to overlook our past or our current experiences and think, well, it has nothing to do with what I want to do, just because I worked in this customer service job, blah, blah, blah. No, I mean, I can tell you these one-to-one calls that I'm getting on my coaching calls, as soon as I start asking strategic questions, it's like a waterfall of freelancers being like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I did that at my job. I didn't realize that was connected. So you have a lot more working for you than you think you do. We just have to pull that out. And it's really hard to do that on your own. It helps to have somebody to ask you strategic questions to pull that out of you, right? So Stacy was a nonprofit consultant that I was speaking to who wanted to transition into, the copywriting space, right? And she was saying, like, before our call, I had this consulting experience, but I didn't know how I could craft that into a story that would appeal to who I'm trying to target now. So I kind of, after the call, I always provide a strategy doc, and I'm like, listen, like, you are further ahead than you think you are because you know how to service freelance clients. You've done this, this, and this, and here's just how you need to make these few tweaks on your website so that your positioning is locked in, right? So instead of chasing this like perfect niche or having you overthink that, we validate your skills with real research and actually see what the marketplace needs, right? So then we do pitching, inbound marketing, posting, marketing your business. It's marketing and sales, right? No guesswork, no what do I post, what do I say? I make it super easy for you to just know what to say, whether it's to market your business or in a sales conversation, right? So that means I offer you customizable templates, scripts, so that you can send personalized outreach, whether that's via LinkedIn, email, Facebook, whatever, right? So something really cool was a student, Loretta, who not only enrolled in my course, but she got the template playbook. She goes, the outreach template had me book 3 discovery calls in a week. And then she landed her first high paying client via, out of one of those 3 calls. And it was enough to pay her mortgage. And that's what I want everybody to take away, is that once you have that one client that's enough to pay like a big portion of your, living expenses. For me, it was my rent. Like when I saw that I was making $1,100 per month from one client, I could see the road ahead of me, right? Like, oh, if I can have one client paying my rent, then it will take this much to pay my electric bill, my phone bill. And then you start to realize, oh, this is something that can actually sustain my life. And I know for me, when I started in 2019, I was like, I can't believe someone's paying me and it's not on a W-2 paycheck. I'm not working for a company. Like, it was so crazy and so empowering, right? It was like the weirdest experience, but those of you who are getting paid by clients right now, you know what I'm talking about, right? You don't need hundreds of leads or a big following or any of these things. You just need the right strategy and messaging. So I've been saying this lately, but you need both sales and marketing. But sales are what is going to help you get your foot in the door and have this going fast, right? So I created a whole other video on this. It's going to go live next week, but talking about the difference between marketing and sales. Marketing is like this long play, and it's you showing up and it's you spreading the word about your business. But sales is directly doing outreach to specific clients that you want to work for, getting them on sales calls, sending them proposals. Those are sales activities. And that's what I specialize in, because before I switched over to the marketing side, before I became a copywriter, before I started my service-based business, I was in sales for B2B technology companies. So I already understood and saw the effectiveness of doing cold outreach when done right. I did a lot of cold emailing, a lot of cold calling. I would go door to door. God help me. Now my husband does that, actually. He's in sales, and he's very much like goes into people's businesses. And in his company, they call it door knocking. Like, I've done all that stuff, and praise God, am doing this on the marketing side where I can sit in the comfort of my home and send emails and, sell just via words, which as an introvert is perfect for me, right? So we want to talk about pricing and sales confidence too, right? Because something I specialize in is getting clients on discovery calls, right? Because you can't just be posting about your business and think, oh, clients are going to come, I'm going to get paid. You need to be doing those sales activity. That means cold outreach, booking sales calls, sending proposals, and persuading. And it's not as scary as people think. And I'll tell you why. And this is why I actually just got on a client call before this, and I was like, well, I have some makeup on. Let's do a live stream on top of it. I'm already yapping away. You try to skill stack or a habit stack and kind of keep the momentum going. But I thought to myself, this is why I don't get nervous before sales calls or discovery calls with clients anymore, is because I've genuinely accepted that it's not about me performing. It's not about me persuading and pushing and being salesy and trying to convince. It's about listening. And if you are more introverted or you are a deep listener, that is your power. You don't have to perform like a dancing monkey on these calls and be like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And quite honestly, whenever the calls do turn into that, I kind of know the person isn't really sold on me, because if I'm having to do a lot of like explaining and a lot of like hire me, pick me, it's already kind of a losing game, right? So when I get on a call and I'm like, wow, I just genuinely have to learn about this person's business, the pressure goes way down. And once I've listened to them deeply, then I can I can offer them my expertise in a way that they care about, that pertains to what they've told me, right? So in 30 Days to Paid, I actually offer you recorded videos, hashtag embarrassing, hashtag cringe, but it's me on calls with prospective clients. One of those calls is a client that I'm like upselling who I already worked with, and I'm just asking them like, hey, what can we do now? And then I think I have two that are first time calls. Oh no, sorry. I have one call where it's a brand new prospect we've never met, like starting from scratch. That's one. I have one where I'm upselling an existing customer, existing client on more copywriting services. And the third one is a onboarding call where she was an inbound lead and I'm meeting her and I'm telling her about my process. So anyway, my point being is that I teach you and show you by doing, so you can actually see what these sales calls look like. To know that you don't have to be perfect and that everybody has their own style and way of speaking. And it's like, just be yourself, be interested in what they're saying, and show a genuine desire to help, and you're okay. I also have documents that give you kind of a structure of a sales call, let you know exactly what to ask on a sales call, so that again, it's more about the quality of your questions versus you having to sell and persuade, right? And then I have a whole module on follow-up, which is basically like, I have a video module showing you the screenshots of me following up without being annoying, because that's the biggest question I get, whether you download my freelance template playbook, whether you enroll in my course and see those screenshots. It's all about follow-up. When do I follow up? What do I say? How do I follow up without being annoying? So what I do is I do the work for you, where I'm basically saying, here's what it looks like to follow up and not be annoying, continue to offer value. This is, how I did it. Here's screenshots. But then I also give you a download, a PDF guide of being like, okay, here's how to structure your outreach. Send the first message then go down 2 days later, follow up, all that good stuff, right? Following up is one of the most underrated skills. I'm telling you, people do not realize how important follow-up is to closing sales as a service provider, okay? And I know we feel annoying, or we feel like, okay, I wouldn't have to be following up this much if they were interested, but I'm telling you, whether you're cold pitching, whether you're following up with somebody you've spoken to, it takes multiple points of contact in order to actually push somebody to do business with you, push the deal over the finish line, right? So whether you're introverted or you're pivoting from a 9-to-5 and you're brand new, my system and my way of showing you how to do this meets you exactly where you're at, because in 2019, although I did have the sales training and the sales experience, I got my way into, like, I got my foot in the door in an industry that I had no experience in, none. I had no established portfolio. I had no existing client base. I had no testimonials, but I was able to transition, and I never returned back to my 9 to 5 sales job. I never returned back to a 9 to 5 just by using these steps. And that's what caused me to start this YouTube channel, to start an online course, to offer these one-to-one calls, because I realized that I followed a specific set of steps. It's my 5-step freedom framework is what I've coined it, but it's a specific set of steps that gets you from I've never offered this service before, but I'm interested in this, to I'm onboarding my first paying client. And I know I just need to rinse and repeat this process until I'm making a full-time income. And I realized that a lot of people in my space were not talking about this. And I know why. It's because people generally don't have a sales background. So when you ask somebody who's like a booked out web designer or graphic designer or marketing consultant, they're relying on existing networks, they're relying on referrals, they built a social media following, and I didn't have any of that. So what my methodology and my framework does is allows you to literally go from zero to your first paying client. And that way you're gaining momentum. That way you can leave your 9 to 5 job, right? There's obviously way more steps involved in this. But the point is to get you into action, because what I have found in all of the students that have enrolled in my course and who I've done one-to-one coaching with, it's the same story. I took the skills course, I learned how to do the thing, but I am not getting paid to do this. And I have no idea how to find clients, where to find clients, what to say in my pitches. That's where most skills courses stop. And for a good reason, because quite honestly, I think, to combine two of those, like the how to learn the skill and the client acquisition and business development aspect, they are two different skill sets, right? Like I can be the best copywriter and brand messaging consultant in the world, but if I can't get people to pay me to do that, I'm SOL. Okay. So that's why I specialize in client acquisition, because I'm assuming that you have a baseline of skills, you have value to offer, but you need to understand how to talk about what you offer, talk specifically to the type of clients that you're trying to target, that you're wanting to appeal to, where to show up, how often to show up. And from there, you get momentum because you're getting paid, right? That's the key. So who my system works best for is service providers, right? Anybody who's working with clients, either on a one-to-one or a one-to-many basis. So maybe you're a Pinterest manager, maybe you're a freelance copywriter, maybe you're a consultant, maybe you are a marketer, or maybe you're a travel agent. Something that requires that beautiful one-to-one human connection, delivering a service, right? And then career pivoters, people like myself who always had a dream of writing or doing the thing, delivering the skill, but found themselves in a corporate career. I mean, come on, how many of us, I would say that's the majority of us. We don't exit college with this bachelor degree. Maybe some of you didn't even go to college, which is fine. I mean, now more than ever, it is fine. Like, is there a point at this point in getting a bachelor's? Doesn't seem like anyone's interested. But anyway, it's like we don't graduate and just enter our dream field or job. It's like we have to be practical. We have to get the office job and sit in the cubicle and answer the phones and do the things, be the customer service, whatever. So whether you're a teacher, whether you work for nonprofits, or maybe you are in a creative field like videography or design or whatever, but you want to go off and do your own thing. You're skilled, but you're unsure of how to actually turn that experience and those skills and those interests, those passions into profitable services, right? And it's for people who don't want to wait for referrals. Because listen, referrals are super powerful. Like there's pretty much nothing better than those word of mouth referrals. Hey, I have a guy, right? We've all been on the receiving end of a referral or given a referral. They have weight, they carry weight. But referrals are hard to control. Now, I have a whole module on how to try to control the referral process. You have to really like feed that beast and say, okay, I'm going to remind people 5 times this week what I do and ask them if they know anyone. Like there is a way to systematize it because I'm all about, okay, how can we create repeatable processes so that we do have some predictability with our business? So yes, referrals are super powerful, but the freelancers and the service providers that rely on referrals are usually the ones that get caught in feast and famine. They're coming to me later and saying things were really good for a while, but everything has dried up, especially now with the economy is just like absolutely insane, right? So it's that waiting for referrals, not feeling like you have control or consistency over the client lead flow, and then getting into feast and famine. Another big thing, and I talk to a lot of freelancers, whether it's through networking, coaching, through my course, it's pitching low budget clients. And mind you, I'm not trying to be mean and be like low budget clients cheap. No, like I'm not saying that because quite honestly, I don't have the budget in my business to pay for some high-end services. It's fine. Like I just don't have unlimited budget. That's fine. So don't take that the wrong way where I'm like cheap clients, low paying clients. I'm just saying there are people at a certain level in business that can afford to invest in services versus those who don't. And I find that like a lot of service providers will hang out in places like Instagram or Facebook, and they'll jump on an opportunity and be like, somebody will say like, hey, I need a web designer. Hey, can anyone do SEO for me? And then there's like a pile on of comments. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. The problem with that, right? Pitching these people who you don't even know what type of budget they have is that they need your service. You get on a call with them and they either can't afford you or they ghost. And that's a lot of energy expended. So what I do and what I specialize in is helping you understand and see the telltale signs of who higher paying, higher quality clients are, meaning they have the budget. I don't mean higher quality in terms of their character, right? We all start somewhere. It's okay if somebody doesn't have the budget for your services. But if you are going to leave your 9-to-5 job and replace your 9-to-5 income, you need to be strategic about how much you are going to charge. You need to set and this is something I work on. If you've taken my freelance fast track challenge, which I offer for free, in the past, I've offered that for free. You know that the exercise that I wrap up the challenge with is setting your income goal and then working backward to see what will it actually take to get you to that income goal. And I don't see a lot of people talking about that. And I'll tell you why. It's like people get into this and they're like, I'm just going to see who will pay me. And they throw themselves online, they build this website and they're like, wait, how do I price myself? You shouldn't be asking that. What you want to do is be strategic in the sense that you are setting your income goal first, breaking down, okay, so this is the yearly salary I want. And then how many thousands of dollars per month equals $100,000 per year? Let's just, use a round number. I want to make $100,000 per year. Okay. How much per month do you need to make? Okay. So now you know how much per month you want to make. How many photography sessions, website design projects, SEO clients, copywriting clients? What do I need to charge? How many clients do I need to work for, charging that rate to get me to that $5,000 to $6,000 per month? Okay. I know those numbers probably don't make sense. I have a learning disability with math. Okay. So I want you to know, if you're learning challenge like me, if you've had some special needs, because I'm a special needs girl, you can still run your own business and be self-employed. It's never been a better time for someone like me to be in business because you don't have to be super smart. But anyway, that's how you avoid low paying clients. Sorry, I went on a tangent talking about my mental challenges. That is how you avoid low paying clients, because once you know how much you want to make and how much you're going to charge, it kind of eliminates like 80% of all people you'd even consider getting on a call with. And it helps you be really dialed in and strategic about who you are going to pitch, right? You're not going to pitch somebody who just started their Etsy business yesterday and you want to charge $1,000 for a website. They're not going to have the money, right? So it's just going to all make sense when you understand who to target and what the telltale signs of people who are mature enough in their business, who are far enough along, who are profitable and can actually afford your services, right? So I love this quote from one of my coaching students. I felt like a fish out of water in my 9-to-5. I knew God was calling me out of it, but I didn't know how. This gave me the strategy I needed to move forward. Yes, girl, because I'll tell you what, I was so miserable working a 9-to-5. I think 9-to-5s are great for certain people, just not for other people like myself who just can't keep a job. So what makes 30 days to paid different, and always the feedback I get, is most courses are teaching you how to do this skill and how to kind of like quote unquote brand yourself, but they don't teach you how to actually get paying clients. And the reason why my framework, my course, my consulting, all the advice I give is different is because I focus on getting you paid first, not just, Christine, can you get feedback on my website? What do you think of my pricing? What do you think of my packages? And there's courses out there, there's programs out there that are charging an arm and a leg just to teach you how to do the thing and how to package it, but they never tell you how to actually interact with clients, persuade them to work with you. And when I say persuade, I don't mean like convince them or have any like creepy sales tactics or like neuro-linguistic like none of that shit. Okay. Excuse my language, because as a Christian, I am trying to clean up my foul mouth. But seriously, there's so much BS in this world because nobody just wants to tell the truth, which is you need to put in the reps and do the work and hustle until you get the client, but you need the right steps. And saying like, hey, build this package of pricing, but it's like you're not even going out there and talking to people. It just doesn't make sense, right? So we help you pitch and we help you refine that pitch based on the results you're getting. You don't wait until you feel ready, where you feel everything's perfect, you feel experienced enough. That's, I would say, where the mindset stuff does come in, is like, no, you have what you need. Let's get you into action, right? And then feedback, support, and systems that work across industries, right? Because although I started heavily in the freelance copywriter space because, I had just made that transition and knew it really well. The thing with what I do is that it translates to any service provider business because it's just about communication and persuasion. I'll give you a prime example. I have 3 different people who have taken my course who originally set out to do freelance work and landed 6-figure full-time jobs in the spaces they were trying to enter. So whether you are pitching yourself on a podcast, whether you are pitching yourself to a full-time job or for freelance work, for retainer work as a consultant, the principles are the same. So yes, tactics and hacks and tips, that's all great. But what is your framework? What is your foundation? Unless you are learning those foundational sales and marketing skills, it's always just going to feel like you're hopping from one thing to another. But once you actually understand how to sell and market yourself and your services, all of those tips, strategies, new technologies, they're great additions, but you know what to come back to. You know the activities and the actions that you need to perform, and that's Priceless. You will never feel lost. You will never feel like you're just opening your laptop again, having no idea what to do, no idea what steps to take to get to your goal, because you know the foundation, you know the steps, and that is absolutely priceless. Stacy, one of my one-to-one consulting clients, she said, I've taken courses before and none of them focus on the business side like yours does. And then another student said, you helped me land a client before my website was even live. There we go. So if you want to finally get paid for your skills and build a client acquisition system that you can repeat and stop spinning your wheels, stop researching, stop consuming all the content, stop taking the skills courses, I need you to know that you have what it takes. You just need a roadmap. Okay. So here's what to do next. I am going to be opening up a wait list for a live cohort. Something I'm doing in 2025 is wanting to go deeper with you guys. And I'll tell you a little backstory. So when people used to enroll in my program, 30 Days to Paid, they would consume the course self-paced and then be entered into a group where you get to interact with other people. And something that really hit me at the end of 2024 was that I wanted to go one-on-one and go deeper with people. So the support option within 30 Days to Paid is no longer like, oh, just enter the community for 90 days or whatever, and then you can pay for a subscription. It's you get 90 days of one-to-one support, no group, no community. You get feedback from me. I just noticed that the people who are drawn to me tend to be more comfortable, not so much in that like huge community group setting, but just one-to-one access. That's why I created one-to-one coaching packages where you can literally book a call with me. We'll do a strategy session. It's low cost. If it makes sense for you to join the program to continue on, I will offer you that. And in 30 Days to Paid, you get 90 days of one-to-one contact. We're going back and forth. We're chatting. I'm recording videos. I'm auditing your website. I'm giving you feedback on your pitches. I'm helping you and coming alongside you to be like, oh, you pitched that person. Let me look at their website for you and tell you what I'm seeing. Here's what I think you should do on that call. Here's what I think you should bring up on that call. Although that might not be quote unquote as scalable as what I was doing before in 30 Days to Paid, I believe it's making an impact. And believe it or not, even though I'm pretty introverted, I get a lot of energy, right? Like one thing I encourage everybody to do is like take note of what drains you and what energizes you. And at this age of 34, as a complete introvert, I've gotten so clear on like the things that make me feel good and energize me, and the things that make me feel like I just ran a marathon and I need to take a nap and lay in bed and like shove my face with a pizza. Okay. So when I have those one-on-one calls with you guys and I'm hearing about your background and your goals and your dreams and providing advice and insight, and then I give you a strategy doc after our call, you get a recording of our call, you get a strategy doc, it energizes me because you're exactly where I was in 2019 when I had this dream, but really had no idea like how I was going to go about it. I was stumbling blind, but now I've given you this framework, this 5-step freedom framework where you literally just follow it and it helps you cut through the BS, right? So my calls to action for this live are, number one, you can book a one-to-one coaching call with me. I'll provide that link below. Or if you want to enter 30 Days to Paid, get that framework, start learning immediately, and then get that 90 days of one-to-one support right away, you have that option as well. So there's really two main ways to work with me. If you're a larger company, if you are somebody who has the budget and you're more mature in your business and you happen to be on this live stream, you can hire me as your brand messaging strategist / copywriter. But I work with a lot of aspiring freelancers, aspiring service-based businesses who are wanting the sales and marketing and the outreach and the strategies to get higher paying clients, to get out of feast and famine, and to just have a solid, repeatable client acquisition system that allows you to leave your 9-to-5 job and make money doing what you like doing, feeling fulfilled. My whole life was changed by becoming a freelancer and remaining self-employed. And even though I have to be honest with you, like it's been tough mentally, I know that the mental fortitude that I've been able to build and the stuff that I've been able to overcome doing this is the right move versus battling it out in the corporate 9 to 5 world and having my soul be drained, right? So if this resonated with you, like I said, I have links for you down below. If you just want to, maybe you don't want to enroll in the course, maybe you don't want to book a one-to-one call. One way that I would suggest that you interact with me is to take my free workshop and download my free asset on how to start marketing your freelance or your service-based business with thought leadership posts. I basically give you the content pillars and tell you, okay, take your experiences and write about this. It'll pull that information out of you so you can at least start showing up online, becoming visible, and marketing your business. Let's see if we have any questions. Lita said, I used to get really nervous before sales calls too, but after working with several high ticket clients consistently, I've realized it's just about getting them to say their problem in their own words. Facts, Lita. And Lita, I know you bought the freelance template playbook, so I'm really happy that you're on this live right now. The client will convince themselves they need you. Your only job is to not look incompetent and show them that you understand their problems and how to fix them. So true, because one thing I'll say with sales calls and discovery calls is that when your online presence, meaning your pitch, your website, your social media, when that stuff is dialed in, by the time you get on a call, a discovery call, a face-to-face Zoom with a client, it's almost like they're just vetting you to see if you're a psychopath or if you're a real person at that point, right? So having your online presence dialed in is like kind of 80% of the challenge. And then the rest is really just like, okay, let's figure out pricing. Let's figure out scope of work, proposals, all that good stuff. So it's been 41 minutes. This is my first live stream on YouTube. I usually do Instagram live, but thank you for joining me. I see there's like 10 to 12 of you on here, and I've just appreciated getting to spend this time with you. Hopefully I can post this to YouTube, but click the links down below if you want to learn more about how to create this client acquisition system, and have an amazing day. Bye, guys.